How we doing, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Getting Jiggly. I'm all. Forgot perfect what I was going to do. Today we are getting it painted. We're going to be painting some Marvel United minis so we can have them ready for next week's lunchtime streams. I've got Namor. Technically tonight we've got Namor, Nova, and MODOK. However, depending on timing and how quickly I can get that done, we do have a yellow Sabretooth, a yellow Wolverine, a yellow Kitty Pryde, and a yellow Colossus, which is technically for tomorrow's stream, but maybe we'll have time to get some of them done tonight. Who knows? Because once I get color down, sometimes I do flip back and forth. But let's go ahead and get the camera flipped over. And I do need to switch out my glasses. That's what I forgot. I was about to start. It hit 0. And I'm like, oh, I don't have the right glasses. So these are the wrong glasses. These are just regular readers. We need these bad boys because I'm going blind. So these, I don't even know where my red pair went. So I have a blue pair tonight. Matches my hat. There we go. It's all matchy. Definitely can't see far away with this thing. But I can see him perfectly fine now. So now the first thing you'll notice, of course, is that Namor is not primed. So I have painted over this without priming. So words. Invisible Woman, she had the same thing. She's got a transparent base for her invisibility. I did not prime that. I painted Invisible Woman. I then put a varnish on her, and the paint is staying on her. Same with the the scroll, super scroll. Same thing. He's got some visible parts and some translucent fire parts. Same thing. I just painted straight over. But I figured let's prime it just to see how this works. So I went on to Amazon. I'll end up putting this below as an affiliate link. It's a 3-pack. It comes with gray, black, and white. White I'll use. Gray I'll use. The black I'm not so sure about. But this is airbrush primer. The reason I got airbrush primer is it's thinner. So all airbrush products by default are thinner to begin with. Some still need to be diluted, and I read online this one still needs to be diluted. It is paint. You can tell it's paint grade because they have these ratings here, right? The opacity, full coverage. I forget what the pluses mean, but basically it's that's what they do with paint. I've seen a couple mini painter, acrylic paints are now doing that as well. Warning, choking hazard, small parts, not for children. So we're going to try this. The second thing that I picked up to try, just again, because I want to try it and see how it works, and it may work, it may not work, and it's going to be a total waste of money. Although technically 3 bottles of this was like 18 bucks. I could pick up a cheap airbrush if that's what it took. I don't think I ever want to do brush one. But this is regular masking fluid. It's used for art products. Normally it's used on paper, but we're going to go ahead and give this a shot on here. I don't need to do the whole thing. I just kind of need to get these bits. It came with this. I have no clue what this is for. If somebody has art background and knows what this is for, let me know. But it did come with these little brushes, and they're not brushes. They look more like sculpting tools, like you would have if you had like green stuff. So they're rubber. So I don't know why you would use this instead of something else, but I guess that makes sense because you put the masking fluid inside of a brush, the brush bristles would all get messed up. So I guess we're gonna go with this. I don't know which one to use. Let's go with the one that's got a little bit of a point to it. Why not? This is experimentation time. This is the whole point. You guys get to watch me succeed or fail as I try something for the first time. All right, we'll put that over there. And yeah, so that's what we're gonna get. I'm guessing we need to just shake this well. I shook it earlier. I just put it on the vortex mixer a little while ago. So we will see how this works. I do not want to get this all over my mat if I accidentally mess up. So let's move the water just slightly. We're gonna put this, I got this tray here for the top of my wet palette. And we're gonna, the only problem that I see with this is it's blue going on top of blue. That may not have been the best idea. I don't know how well this is, I don't know how well this is going on. I really can't tell. We just want to make sure we get this side because, you know, when I'm painting or when I'm priming, mostly when I'm priming. So if you saw my Iceman, right, I did Iceman and didn't have much trouble there. I honestly don't care if I get a little bit on the purple because that just means, you know, primer's not going to go in there. There are many ways to do this. I've seen putty, I've seen all kinds of methods. Question is, how long does it take for this to dry? I feel like this is very viscous. I feel like maybe I should have done this like before I got on stream, but then it would be no good for you guys. Yeah, see, it's just sliding around. I don't know. This may not work on minis. But yeah, I've seen people use like silly putty. Silly putty is usually a good one that people use. And then they do have actual, you know, hobby painter masking. I don't know if this is gonna work. Maybe if I would have varnished him first, gave it more of a less glossy surface. Again, this just feels weird because it's not a brush. I was hoping to be able to prime him right here at the beginning so that way I can let him dry, but this stuff doesn't seem to dry very quick. which is another reason why technically that's why I didn't prime the other ones I was talking about, because if I don't prime them, then, you know, if I get something on them because of this being the translucent plastic like it is, it's very easy to just take another brush and kind of wipe it off. So, some of these, their translucence is kind of making me question whether or not I wanted to keep all this translucent or not. This one right here, he may be the nail in the coffin, and I just prime him completely because I don't know what's going on. Yeah, this may not work. This may not be the right time. All right, let's just leave that on there for a bit, see if it dries, see what happens. I don't have a clue what's going to happen. Don't have a clue. All right, put the lid back on that. All right. So I guess that means we're going to go and start painting somebody else first. So, Nova or MODOK. So MODOK requires flesh tone. Well, actually, they both require flesh tones. So I guess we're going to get into flesh tones because that's usually where we start. Because that's going to require like 8 coats. All right, where is my old faithful? Let's do a little bit. Let's try some peachy flesh tonight. We've been doing pale flesh the last couple weeks. Let's do some peachy flesh for these guys, which technically should be right because this Sam Alexander, he should be a little bit darker, right? Because he's Hispanic. But they didn't really make him very. His art is not not very good. Although even in the comics, I've seen a lot of times they kind of don't get his skin tone right. The only problem with this peachy flesh is it is the Reaper paint. Well, this one says high density. We'll see. A lot of the Reaper paints, even when they say high density, they're very thin. Like I'm not a fan of them. I picked it up because it was a set. It was like a, I don't know what the actual set name was, but it had like a lot of flesh tones in it. Might have been the flesh tone set. So I picked it up because of that. And then I forgot, it does not like the mixing balls. Yeah, it's about as thin as it always is. Let's see what happens. We do need a paintbrush though, guys. We need a paintbrush. It's my Game Master. That's my basing brush. Whoop. My fine detail with the stupid curly tip. That's my speed paintbrush. That's a chiseled brush. I have no clue what that's for. This will just go with just a normal regiment brush. Sure. We will just go with a regular regiment brush. And then what's this? I guess we'll go with my wonderful curly tip detail brush, which I need to heat up some water and undo that. If you guys can even see that if I put it over top of his head. So you can heat that up and usually re-straighten it. I tried to re-straighten it when I cleaned it, but it still, has that. Or you can just nip that off, but then of course it does make the brush slightly thicker, right? All right. Let's get started. Let's get this party started. This peachy might not be as dark as I want it to be. Guess we will see. Yeah, see how thin? This is just so thin, so watery. Like I didn't even water it down. It just, it watered down the amount it watered down just from being on the wet palette. I don't even know why I put him on the base. That was all the flesh tone he had. MODOK has. I say MODOK has more. MODOK doesn't really have more. He's just got a bigger face. I think we'll do MODOK first. Why not? But yeah, see, it's just very, very liquidy. I don't know why I'm using my regiment brush. I'll be using my basing brush. Basing brush. Let's get all this water. I'm getting all the water, almost all the water out of the brush because that's not going to work very well. Now the question is, or not the question, but the curiosity in me is, how does yellow work for a backing to something like flesh tones? Because this yellow. So I mentioned last week when we were painting the other X-Men, which had tons of yellow, is that I do have a yellow primer, right? I got this primer. It's the Army Painter yellow primer. It was very weird priming with it, to be honest. It felt really different priming with this compared to my normal Rust-Oleum. I felt like I was really having to like cake it on there, right, to get it to give any type of color. And I felt like it was going to really get into all the details, but it actually didn't. So I guess it goes out at a much finer mist. That actually covered pretty good, all things considered. All right. Well, I was gonna have to do like 12 coats of that. Yellow might be the perfect undercoat for everything. I don't know. Go to Army Painter and get more of the yellow primer is what I'm gonna do. All right. So we need a purple. How purple do we want him to be? I mean, he's not really a dark purple. So I had the same problem when I did Magneto. I was like, I don't want to make him too dark. I think we're just going to go with regular oozing purple. Yeah, that looks pretty close. We'll go oozing purple. Now, I shouldn't need to vortex a lot of these because we're using the same colors almost every week. We don't need that peach anymore. Yeah, because he's going to be really simple, because really all he is the purple, his brown hair, and then his chair is like yellow with a dark yellow. And that's why I painted him yellow first. So I'll just paint him yellow and then use an orange yellow to detail it off. Like, that looks more orange according to the label. That looks more... yeah, it's kind of orange. That might work. That might be what I use. We'll see. All right. Purple. Let's put purple in the other corner. As far away from the peach as we can. All right. So what do we need? Head, arms, legs. One thing I don't do, so I was watching, not to say a professional painter, but, a painter on social media, on Instagram, and he was painting his miniatures, and, like, he was just slopping so much paint on it. It was like, I saw it globbing up, I saw it, like, making bubbles and everything, and then in the end, though, like, it was a smooth coverage. So I'm kind of wondering, am I not thinning enough? And then, just like I said, just slopping it on there to get that same smooth coverage. I just don't know. So now this yellow is color match. So if you look here, the demonic yellow, it's color match to the primer. So we can use this for our yellow. So if we get purple on things, right, we're still good to go. Yeah, so this is probably gonna require 2 coats as well. So what is it? His whole hand, his glove, his arm, all of this is purple. So today we went up against Sandman. I was quite worried about that fight, but it actually went pretty well. went pretty well. I always wonder if I'm really going to try to get as, like, when things are behind other things, you kind of really can't see them unless you hit just that one right perfect angle. So I always debate how much should I worry about things that are behind things. So the rest of the champions, I've already got paint. So we painted Miss Marvel for another stream. Can't remember what stream that was, or who we even went up against. And then we painted Miles as part of the Spider-Man box. So he is good to go as well. And unfortunately, I was trying to find, I was like, well, what is a villain that, like, they went up against? And unfortunately, there really wasn't a villain that they went up against that's in Marvel United. So Mephisto was kind of the closest, because there was an arc where they make a deal with him. Spoiler for the comics, if you haven't read it yet. So I mean, it's several years old now, so most people already know. Was that they were trying to save people, they couldn't save everybody, and so Kamala Khan, so Miss Marvel, actually dies, and so they make a deal to bring her back. Well, in doing so, now they were in the right place at the right time to save her, but now they were not in the right place at the right time to save a little girl who had been saved by, I think, Miles, because then he takes it hard, and I think he quits the team at that point. So yeah, that was the closest matchup we could have, and I didn't want to go for that one. Also, we would have to wait a while to find and get to Mephisto. So, and there's also better matchups, right? Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider, all the Ghost Riders, technically. We do have three of them. We could do three Ghost Riders against Mephisto. That might be what we do. Yeah, this is going to take a second coat, I think. How does this work? It starts here. Yeah, I don't know the secret to a very pointy brush. No brush I have ever stays pointy. Does not matter. I can clean it, I can point it once I'm done, I twirl it when I'm pulling the paint. So it must just be synthetic brushes or cheap brushes. I say cheap brushes, but these are like army painter brushes. These are the ones they send you with the kits. So the only ones that are not the ones that are from the kit are the regiment brushes, because I bought a pack of like a starter pack, and it came with like the regiment, the detail. It has one Kolinsky Sable, but I think it's the detail. So it's like that doesn't even do me any good on a standard painting. Yeah, it's gonna take 2 coats. So now I'm kind of stuck because they're not quite dry yet. Go back to flesh tones, I guess. Do our second coat of flesh. We go check on Namor. Let's check on Namor. Let's see how that... I don't think that masking worked. I really don't. I don't think this is going to do what I want it to do. Yeah, I can't even see it. There's a... Right there's a big glob of it. Like, it seems like it should be globby like that. But I don't know. And the problem is, I don't know what the instructions are because it's in French or German. I guess I could have Audrey. Yeah, see, like, where it's seeped in down in the inside, you can see it's kind of getting kind of gooey. And that's kind of what you want over the whole thing. All right, so that didn't work. I'll have to figure out. But yeah, so let's get him primed though. So let's go ahead and prime him up while they're drying. We're going to at least need to have him primed. And I just got to be careful. So I don't want to use my good brush. So a cheap synthetic brush. Nope. Oh, there are my glasses. I was looking for the red ones. They're inside my paintbrush container. All right. Yeah, let's use this one. All right, so let's get us a little bit of primer. Side of the cups. It's probably too much. And let's see what happens. Never used a brush on primer before. This is definitely not the brush I want to use. Oh, it's just smearing around. That's horrible. Okay, I stand corrected. This is not what I want to do with a brush on primer. I'd be better off just doing acrylic paint at this point. I really would. Yeah, let's use my old basing brush. I mean, I shook that thing several times today. Yeah, it's not even sticking to it. Yeah, it's not even sticking to it. It's just rolling right off. So, I just spoke a lot about the that primer. Definitely not it. Love Army Painter paints, but I do not care for their brushes. Now, yeah, I'm not. It's just I've been picking things up here and there. I mean, it's done the job. I currently have their Series 1 paints because I got they had a bunch of them on sale. Yeah, this is not going to work as a primer, which is weird because I saw it online being used as a miniature primer, but I'm guessing maybe that is because of the airbrush. So you have to have the airbrush to get it as a fine enough mist, and just putting it on straight. I was assuming because again, I've used airbrush paints. I've used airbrush paints on minis before. But yeah, this stuff just is not gonna work, I don't think. So let's get that off the table. Let's straight paint. Let's see what happens if I straight paint. I guess we'll stick with the Peachy flesh that I pulled out. Yeah, see, look at that. Even the Peachy flesh is going right on and sticking to it. Yeah, that just isn't going to work for what I want it to do. That primer is not going to work. So, I'm showing you that I'm going to do this mini. I'm not going to prime him. I'm going to paint him. He's going to paint all nice and pretty. Then I'm going to varnish him, and we're going to call that a day. Paint comes off, it just means I got to paint him again. But like I said, I've done the Invisible Woman without priming. I've done the Super Scroll without priming. That was several years ago. Now again, I have not played with them continuously. But as I mentioned in a previous video, and I've mentioned it online and other times as well, Goobertown did a study with prime versus unprimed paint, varnished versus unvarnished, right? And his findings were that plastic minis don't necessarily need to be primed. If you get them and you paint them and you varnish them, it's gonna lock it in, right? The varnish acts kind of like as a, I mean, it's a clear coat, right? And it just locks all that in. So as long as there's nothing underneath that's gonna cause the paint to break apart internally, you're usually probably fine. Like I said, the new formulation of these actual paints are designed to go on plastic. I think a perfect example is that primer, right? We try to put that primer on. The primer is not designed to go onto these minis per se, right? They're designed to go in through an airbrush. Whereas these are designed and it's, you know, going in just fine. It's not pulling up. It's drying quick. It's locking into place, right? And if you do more than one coat, I mean, that's the other thing. If you're doing like multiple coats of acrylic paint, each one of those acts as a primer. Most primers nowadays are just acrylic paint. It's pretty much the exact same thing that you're putting on. So it's kind of, again, it's kind of odd that that's what people do. Or have that, you know, we've got that strong belief that you have to prime. I think we all do it just to do it, to give you a clean, smooth surface that's not necessarily a plastic, right? Shiny. And again, I prime my minis normally, so it's not like I don't. But we're gonna go with no priming on Namor. He should be really easy. He is basically flesh tone and his Speedos. That's all Namor is. Flesh tone, Speedos, and a gold trident. And something else you could do, right, on these ones, and I could have done it, and I didn't, because I was going to try what I bought, is just do a varnish. Just do a matte varnish over top of the plastic, right? And then that matte varnish is basically acting as a clear primer, so then you don't mess up your translucent pieces. So this is where I gotta be a little bit careful. All right, and yes, he has bare feet. So I will have to probably do, must be 11 o'clock. My alarm just locked my front door. If I wasn't aware that that happened, that would freak me out. Is the purple kind of shines through a little bit. So I'll probably have to take like a light blue or teal blue or something and do some accent colors, specifically where the purple is. Now with Phoenix, it's not that big a deal, right? Because she's red, so therefore it's gonna look like the flame. But even on like Johnny Storm, I did some fire, tried to do some fire accents. Again, I'm still not sold on leaving them plastic, but I, again, could always just paint over them. All right, how do we get there? While we're here, we'll just go ahead and do the wings. Give them a base coat. That way the white goes on a little bit easier, maybe. I don't think anybody watches these afterwards, but I would love somebody to come in and see me doing this during the live stream and like basically lose their stuff. Be like, what? are you doing? Painting a mini without primer. What do you think I'm doing? Wing on that for 2 over it. So just get a base coat of the wings. Might make that easier. All right, now we're gonna have to go to a finer brush. I'm not going to my detail brush, but the smaller brush. So I need to get in here. Let's go to X-ray goggles just to make sure I do this right. So I need to figure out what color green are his spandex going to be. What color green are his underoos? And that's what I knew was going to. Ooh, that's sticky. So that the masking stuff seems to work. I mean, it is sticky, but I think it was really thin. So I don't know if it needed to be shaken more, or again, it's the, you know, the viscosity off of the plastic. Where's my brush now? So I did try to yank him out. Now I do know that there are methods to get them out of the translucent plastic. I just didn't try hard enough. Worst case, I get a touch of the peach in there that I don't catch in time, and it dries. And then I will just have to put some of the blue teal color, accent color, to cover it up in there. Is the concentration part. Don't hit the sides. This is where playing what was it when you're a kid, the doctor one where you had to pull the bones and stuff out of the body. Operation. Where's it, Steve? Got that side, got some. Okay, gotta get this side. My head doesn't turn that way. Yeah, so just have the purple underneath that I can see. So yeah, I'll just have to take some blue or teal and just kind of probably have a blue teal. Well, I've got the X-ray glasses on. You could technically paint the entire time with these on, but I would probably definitely want to go with a. I was gonna do that. I'd want a much lighter weight. These ones got a little bit of weight to them. Makes them heavy. That's a set that's got the light in it, so I wasn't using the light. That set has a light in it. So there are probably sets that magnify that same amount that don't. I mean, these are 4x readers, is what these are. So they give me a little bit extra, like, you know, zoom. But nothing. I mean, those are magnifiers, which is a completely different story. All right, so. Second coat on Sam. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do with Sam. I think I'm going to do the same thing I did with Spider-Woman's hair. So here's the thing. So Sam here as Nova, and this is why people didn't know which Nova it was. They gave him a blue helmet, right? And it should be a black helmet. So I know I like this blue. I used it for Spider-Man 2099. So I like this as dark sky blue. But I'm debating if for his helmet, if I'm going to put a couple drops of black into it. I also have this Azul Stormy Blue, which is game color. So this is Vallejo. I don't know if I like this better or not. I mean, I just want it to be more black. The problem is now we're heading into purples. That's dark blue actually looks more purple to me. Now we're getting into light blue. Oh, here we go. Hex Lichen. That might be the color right there. It's blue, but it's almost black. But I have to see if and make sure it doesn't turn purple. That's the only problem. Because see, this is Purpura Hechicero, which I guess means hexed. Hechicero. They're Spanish. Where's Miyamoto? And I need her to translate that for me. Maybe we'll see how that looks. I don't know. Because yeah, his helmet's supposed to be, like I said, it's supposed to be black. It's supposed to be black. And I've got this Peachy flesh out, so I guess I better go ahead and do Wolverine, Kitty Pryde. Better do everybody else while I've got this out on the palette. I mean, it'll be on the palette tomorrow, but it'll start to separate since it takes multiple coats. I think he has more detail and depth than any other mini I've painted so far. Like, his face is just crazy detailed. Like, it's got ridges and grooves and canals and valleys and everything else. This yellow does really good for starting flesh to then put the peach over top of. Alright, so let's go ahead and get everybody else while we're at it. Sabretooth. I almost feel like I want to make this, I want to get a slightly darker shade for Sam. Okay. Sabretooth's healing factor keeps kicking in. He won't let me paint his chin. There we go. And Wolverine. I forgot I actually need a second coat on. I probably have to get more out now. I need a second coat on Namor. So the villains, if you notice, the yellow looks much brighter, and that's because, again, their base was red, right? Whereas the heroes, the base is blue. So, of course, the yellow is not going to color. The blue is evenly. And like we did with everybody else, when you put pink down as a base, it just makes yellow work. Because it makes the yellow... It kind of covers in the negative space of the yellow with a bright enough color to allow it to look like yellow. Colossus will be my easy one tomorrow because he's basically just going to be silver. for the most part. All right, and Kitty. I would like to have painted Lockheed, but fortunately you have to unlock his cards. Didn't he come with her, or was he still separate? Now I'm wondering. Now I got to look that up. I don't help them Lockheed. Okay, so yeah, so Lockheed it does play. Oh dang it! I need to go get Lockheed. Yeah, I thought he did come with her, and then everybody else, like all the new pets, were after. That's what tray? Not that one. We just pulled that one. Oh, that one. Where you at, buddy? Or is he not orange? Well, no, because he would have been before that. So where is he? He's probably gonna be on the X-Men tray then. Oh, he's blowing fire, isn't he? There he is. That's why I couldn't find him. He was already purple. Whoops. I'm trying to show him up there, and that's not going to work. Yeah, he was already purple, and he had this fire base. So I just need to make him purple, which he already is, and I think that purple that I used on, yeah, that purple's probably going to be perfect. So again, we're not going to use primer because I didn't prime him, and he's got the same thing. He's got the fire acrylic. So I'm gonna paint pinky purple over pinky purple and call it a day. And it's probably gonna need 2 coats. So yeah, this is the old Army Painter paint. And it has a thinning issue. If you do not shake it enough, it's very thin. It's not really a one coat coverage that they advertise now with their Fanatics line. And I am not big enough or paint enough or have enough subscribers to have that stuff just magically show up on my doorstep. So we're gonna use what I got on sale, which I think they've still got some of the old paint. I think they're still clearancing it out. I think it's still about $1.50 a bottle, $1.25 a bottle. So definitely worth. I mean, it's worth it for $1.25. I mean, it's worth it even at full price, kind of to a degree. You just have to know what you're working with, right? which is probably good for me because I think sometimes I do paint a little bit too heavy-handed. So this forces me to paint a little bit thinner. The only problem is because of how it goes on thick and thin at the same time, sometimes you are running into issues of blotchiness, right? It's not going on as smooth and creamy like butter as you would like. So Jeff's going to have a friend. That's the only thing I'm kind of disappointed about the Megaverse map, is that when he did add all the new stuff, right? He did it as with the assumption that, you know, somebody may have already done some of the X-Men and some of the Avengers already, so he didn't want to just throw in like the equipment, right, in the middle of an Avengers campaign or in the middle of the X-Men. So to get the equipment, to get the pets, you have to leave and go out to the multiverse, which I guess, again, at the same time is nice because it's like, okay, it encourages you to go out there. But because I try to play it thematically, to play Team Spider and not have any Spider Team cards, or to play, you know, Spider-Man and still not have my web shooters, is kind of awkward, to say the least. Or not to say awkward, but just unthematic, right? All right, I think this is good for a first coat. He's definitely gonna need two. We're definitely gonna have to do X-ray goggles at one point, but luckily this is going over that purple color, so I'm not as concerned about the coverage as much. I think that's it. I think it's just this, and then we're gonna have to do white for his eyes, or sorry, yellow for his eyes. I mean, I guess if I really wanted to, I could make his claws like the tips of his claws. But yeah, he's just purple. He's just a purple fellow. All right, let's do our. Guess since we're playing with purple, well, this is not the brush I want to use. Let's go ahead and do our second coat on MODOK. Speaking of purple. Now, some of my synthetic brushes hold a really good point for a while. That's why I say it's so weird. Like, you get a very good, high-quality brush, and it by a name, you know, by Army Painter or whoever, and it like can't hold a point, right? And I get this cheap synthetic brush, and it's holding a better point. I mean, it's what I started out with. I started out with these cheap, thin, synthetic, $15 pack of brushes off of Amazon. And I'm still using them. I don't find anything wrong with them. The minis get painted. And honestly, the Army Painter brushes are synthetic too. So, I mean, it's not... I can't say they're technically using a better quality synthetic. They may be. I don't know. One that's more geared towards hobby paints. I don't know. All right. So finish the second coat on this, and then we'll go and do our second coat of flesh tone on Namor, because that's going to probably need 2, maybe even 3, considering, right, it's just straight over the purple plastic. David Brown, is that yellow primer? Yes, this is yellow primer, David. This is the Army Painter Demonic, what do they call it? I don't know if they still call it Demonic Yellow in the Fanatic line, but yeah, it's Demonic Yellow. I'm liking painting flesh over top of the yellow too. It's kind of making me think, oh, should I just prime everything in yellow? I was afraid it would go in like very thick and gloppy like yellow does, but because it is actually Army Painter's yellow, right? It's a very, very fine mist. So it went on, and it was freaking me out because I'm like, well, this is not covering for nothing. And I was worried I'm gonna have to do lots and lots. And there were a couple times where I think I oversprayed, and I'm like, oh, that's gonna get rid of all the details. From what I can see right now, it didn't get too cloggy, so yeah, I'm happy with it. I bought it when my local store was shutting down, and specifically bought it because of the X-Men. Because I knew I had Marvel Zombies I needed to paint, and then I knew I needed to paint all of the Marvel United, and the X-Men have a lot of yellow. Guessing that was Professor X's. I guess that's Charles Xavier's favorite color or something. If I had taken a picture of the Prime minis before I made the thumbnail, that would have been fun. Show a bright yellow Prime minis is what we're painting. Again, the OCD of me knowing that that's yellow under there is forcing me to try to paint under there, and I probably should leave it alone. Don't know if I'm going to need 3 coats or not. There's some areas that still look a little thin. As long as the front facing and the up facing stuff is covered, I'm good. And his thumb, yes. Those old comics where they get a blue-black color. I wonder if there any way to do that on a mini. Might be a problem with perspective, though. You mean like the hash marks, where it's like they're using blue to highlight black? Because I mean, there are a lot of comic style paints out there, and the comic style kind of runs the gambit. So the comic style, I've seen people do more of a cell shading approach within black lining and hash marks. I've seen comic style where it's basically just black lining, right? So solid colors and then black lining. I saw one comic style that was really out there. It was just, I don't know. He called it comic style, and that's why I watched it. And it really didn't fit comic style, in my opinion. There we go. That is such a detailed and expressive face. Crazy. All right, let's go ahead and give Lockheed his second coat before I run out. I'm almost out of the purple, so it's going to dry up soon. We'll just get his second coat on. Had to go hunt him down. I forgot that he was part of the set. He wasn't an extra for the pets. They gave him a pet card because, you know, he should have pet cards so that other people can use them. So Jeff will have a friend for one matchup, I guess. Now, what I got to figure out is how I'm going to do this. So, in May, I usually do Star Wars games. So then I'm thinking, well, what Star Wars game can be done solo? And well, I've got Imperial Assault, and there is a online app plus the Commander app that has been made for it. And I'm like, well, they have minis. So it's like, if I have to paint those minis, then I'm not going to have time to paint Marvel United minis. So I run into a conundrum of, if I don't have somebody unlocked already, then I would have to paint them. So lately, I've been trying to pick villains that were already painted to at least alleviate some of the painting requirement. But that's the thing, is I would have to paint, probably guaranteed somebody would have to be painted, no matter what the matchup is. And then it comes down to Imperial Assault. So if I play the one in the app, then I think I would just be restricted to just the first, like the original box, right? I think you can say you have expansions, but like I could just say I don't have expansions, right? Because otherwise it could pick anything I own and throw it in there. So I don't know how I'm going to handle that. Are you good, buddy? Are you completely colored? I think you are. His butt up in the air. Look at that butt. Booty! Lockheed has his own pets. Skunk works. Do you use a wet palette? Yes, I do use a wet palette. I stopped buying wet palette paper, but I still buy their sponges when the sponges get nasty. But yeah, I have a wet palette. My paint doesn't get as watered down as most people's. Like I really believe I don't water it down enough. But like if I water it down any more than this to where like I've done it before, like I've had a paint do this where you pull it away and it sucks it back, which is what I've heard it's supposed to kind of do. When I paint with that, it just seems like it doesn't cover anything. So then I'm like, what am I gonna do? It's like you ain't covering what I want to paint. I don't want to do 5 coats. I already have to do that with peach. Flesh tones. Speaking of flesh tones, I'm probably out. Let me go grab some more. Because this naked man is going to take it all with his purple hair. All right, so our goal is not to paint the X-Men. That is not our goal this evening. So you X-Men, hang out over here. Lockheed got special treatment because I needed to paint his purple before that purple dried up. What am I going to use? Basing brush works. Heraldy Bear, Imperial Assault. Yeah, I don't know how I want to handle that. What I was thinking is what I would do is May the 4th, maybe I do a painting stream, but that's like in the middle of the week. And if I have to paint a lot, that's not going to do it. So I could paint the previous weekend. I think even then, right? I think it's not like I'm doing right now where I'm painting on average maybe 3 or 4 minis when I do these sessions. And I paint for about 4-ish hours. Imperial Assault, there's like 5 of each guy I need to paint. And like I said, it pulls from the villain pool. So, I mean, it could be any of those guys, meaning technically you got to paint everything. I guess instead of playing, I could just do my May the 4th and my May the 6th be with you. 6th and 5th. I never know which day it's supposed to be. Revenge of the 6th, Revenge of the 5th. I think it's both. I could just, paint on those days instead. And then play it sometime way in the distant future. When Namor wants to hide underwater, he uses a ghillie suit. And I'm trying to see how many people yell at me about not priming my mini, because if they weren't here at the beginning of the stream or didn't watch the beginning of the stream, they're going to be confused. Again, I tried to do some brush on primer. It did not work. So we're moving forward. I've done this before. The paint went on fine. It covered fine. It's still on the mini just fine. And like I tell most people, go watch the Goobertown video. When an actual chemist, which is what I believe his background was, I know he's a scientist, does some scientific evaluations of primers, paints, varnishes. I think I'm going to take his scientific evidence over Mr. Guy on the internet who's just listening to what other people say. Get over there. Get over there. See, I think I figured out what it is. I know why Namor is mad, because I have one as well. Namor's mad because everybody makes fun of his widow's peak. That's what it is. Yeah, it's going to take at least 3 coats. That yellow made a big difference for the flesh tone. And like, I know that other people, they like for flesh tone, like they'll put down like a brown. So, I mean, a yellow is similar family. So it kind of makes sense why it covers nice. Yeah, but definitely gonna have to do a 3rd coat on you, buddy. Let's let you dry. All right, back to the big man. I said the big man. Back to the big head. Probably gonna turn the fan on again, which then dries out my wet palette. So I gotta figure out how I want to do this. I always hate trying to figure out how to do flames. Especially flames with some kind of poof at the bottom, because then that almost makes me think like that should be smoke. Alright. What are we painting next on you, buddy? Got your purple, got your... I know I'm going to have to repaint the yellow to a small degree. He needs silver, white, red in the mouth. No. No. It's... Right, yeah. I need a little bit of this. This is just to kind of get to go into his mouth a bit. Brown rose. It's a nice little dark peach color. Makes a good inside of the mouth color. That's what I've been using it for lately, actually. So I used to use red, but like red is actually way too bright for like just to put in the inside of the mouth. You want more of a peachy red. So I just like the way that looks better. It's more subtle. So yeah, let's go ahead and get our yellows. So I think we're gonna try this for the detail, for the extra bits. Which are kind of hard to tell what those are supposed to be. It'd be like that line, and I guess that line there, and then his helmet. I don't know if it's a whole helmet. Maybe. Yeah, it looks like the whole helmet, except for the little stripes, would be yellow. Actually, it looks like... Again, this, I don't know, because of the... You know, is this the art making that more of the darker or not? So just see how it looks. So this is a newer version of the Army Painter pen, because it's got the mixing bowls in it. This is an older one. Although it should have the mixing balls in it because I should have put them in there. That looks so fast on my camera. There, let's see how dark this orange is. It's not a bad color. I think this might be what I want. Pop a bubble. Yep. So it's very close to what it already is, though. All right. Yeah, it's just enough of a shade darker. Yeah, it looks good. I like that. Lock it a lot. And because it was already yellow, that makes this go on so much easier. I have Cantico stuck in my head. It looks like you're running in place. Yeah. Really don't have to be too careful because everything else is going to be yellow. I'm going to have to go back over the yellow anyways. Like the color match is nice, right? Because it matches the color, but it's not a, like I said, when I primed it, it didn't go on really solid. It looks good and solid because of the, like I said, because of the red. This was originally red. So the red, like same as the pink, acts as a enhancer for yellow. Guessing that would be yellow. Huh. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I'm kind of thinking now the opposite. I'm thinking everything is supposed to be this orange color and the yellow is just an accent. I was kind of going the other way around where I was thinking, oh, the orange is the accent. Now I'm thinking everything is this orange and the yellow is the accent. Yeah, like I don't know what. I always want the front and the back of art. So looking at this is going to be orange too, because you can see the very corner underneath his arm on this one side. So you can tell that this is orange in there. Because I remember when I painted Professor X's chair, that was a nightmare. So I didn't have yellow primer then, so I had to paint his entire chair yellow. Not fun. I realized jumping around to all the different parts is going to make making chapters a pain in the butt. Like lately, I've like the last couple streams, I kind of just stayed with one mini until I was done. For that reason alone, it makes putting the chapters much easier. So you can just say, Shuri Details, Shuri Base. And it's going to take a little bit to cover that in some purple. All right, that's kind of the first coat. The stuff around his legs, those go. I don't know if I make them silver, if I make them gray. Like, are they really metal? Yeah, I don't know. Oops, I missed that little piece on his forehead. He's got like a small little piece on his, I don't know, headband thing. There we go. All right, so let's knock out before I do the yellow details, I want to knock out the yellow because I think it's too much right now. And it's just gonna be hard to see what I'm doing. What color do I want for his hair? Always default to leather brown. Should I try something different? Should I try a different leather brown? Got monster brown. I think this is going to be kind of light, though. I don't think that's going to be too light. Then I have heavy brown. I think that's just going to be too dark. Yep, another brown it is. I still have not watched the new Captain America movie, so, but well, no, I'm sorry, I'm looking at MODOK, and for some reason I'm thinking of the leader. I did watch the MODOK in Quantumania. I guess there's only so much you can do with a big head, like to make it, look okay on screen. But I think that was the problem with the leader, is they ran into that. I think that's why I was thinking that, is they ran into that problem. It's like, okay, how do you make a big green head not look goofy, considering, they've kind of tried to stay like it's realistic superheroes, if that's even a thing. So when you go very comic booky, it's kind of hard to come back from that. I think they could have done. I mean, shoot, they've done scrolls and aliens, and they're all different colors. So I think they could have done it. I guess from what I remember is like during the original screenings, people didn't like him that way, and then they went this completely opposite direction, which then the fans didn't like that way. So it's like, you're gonna impact somebody somewhere. Yeah, that helped. That helped a lot. Cut back on that yellow. There's just so much yellow. There's just so much yellow, man. All right. Like, I don't even know where to look. Like where to focus and stuff. All right. Let me do the silver gray color. I think. Let me just go with gray for now. And then if I want to make it silver, I can. Can always cover paint up with other paint. This is where I need my phone. Where's my phone's in my pocket? I gotta look up. Should look up Big Child Creative and see how they painted him to kind of get an idea of some of the features. That's where in the DC they offered that art book. But my fear is that art book, and well, in a painting guide, my fear is that art book would just be the same pictures they post on the internet anyways. So it's like, that's not really going to give me what I want to see. All right, and I can probably do his base with this color too, so I can cut down on the yellow on the base. Let's go ahead and do that first. That is the only problem with using yellow primer. Is it's very bright. So it's like right there in your face the whole time you're painting until you get it covered up good enough. I'm gonna be seeing yellow in my sleep. Watch. I don't know if I want to make this a smoke cloud. Make it black. And that's technically what it is. It's the smoke cloud underneath of them. Let me pull up Big Child Creatives and see how they did it. Because I may just be coloring, I may just be painting this part, that part gray too. That helps. That helps a little bit. Yeah, let me see if I can pull up their painting of him. Didn't have fat fingers, I'd be able to type better. Choose. That person, that's like that person's. They did the it's more of a Crisis Protocol. They did like a white plume. I keep getting Atomic Mass. I keep getting the Crisis Protocol. All reunited. Let me try with the dots. Keep hitting 9 instead of O. Has nobody painted MODOK? Yeah, they did like a white and gray. So they kind of did gray at the bottom and then white kind of at the top. So like that. They did gray at the bottom and then white at the top. Again, that's just that particular thing. It's not the Marvel United one. In the picture, in the art, is more of an orangey yellow. Huh. Which is probably how Big Child would have painted him. Yeah, it doesn't. It said core villains, and then it's got MODOK as the stretch goal being unlocked. But then, of course, his painted section is going to be who knows where. I don't know if I want to leave it yellow though. I don't really care for the yellow. Luckily, the art doesn't show it. I think I'm going to do the gray and the white. I think I'm going to do gray on the bottom, and then a lighter gray at the top, and then leave the flame yellow. And it may brighten up that yellow. I may go with a bright yellow on the inside of the flame. Yeah, so go ahead and do a coat of gray on the entire flame, and then I can put the white on top of it. Yeah, some of the art decisions kind of confuse me. So like another one that I talked about last time, and now we're gonna have to paint it, is Wolverine. Like in all of the art, it looks like dust. Like, it looks like, you know, he's running fast and he's kicking up dust. Like, that just doesn't make sense with the pose that he's in and the situation he's in. It's not like he's in the middle of the desert and he's kicking up dust. So it's kind of weird in that regard. So, like, same thing here. They made the smoke, the artist that colored the original art made the smoke like yellow instead of, well, smoke colored, which would be black, or, well, gray or white or whatever. Yeah, that's amazing how much that cut down. Like, just doing the head and that cut it completely down. Yeah, I definitely didn't want to do that yellow. That's so much better. That cut it down a lot. All right, so we know white's going to take a couple coats. We got to do our yellow trim. Oh yeah, we were doing the gray. What am I? Well, come back to what we. And the gray accents. Probably gonna have to do some touch up anyways. To be expected. I wonder if I should change these from paint and chat to paint and Will's ramblings. There's less chatting and more of me rambling. It's fine. I'm doing this to make sure I get these painted, and since I'm going to be doing it, it's like, I'll just stream it. Someone's come out, listen to music, and listen to me ramble. At least I'm getting slightly better at keeping it in camera. Probably not. Probably not. Yeah, if I want to make, I mean, like in mine, I can tell that that's a different color, but I'm not sure if I want to leave them just gray. Hmm. Kind of thinking if I did do silver, that might stand out too much. Considering nothing else is really metallic. But in actuality, his entire suit is metallic. So that's kind of weird. Oh, it's because it's a double mold. Dang it. Well, no, on the picture it shows it too. But on this side, they didn't put the crease isn't there. Either that or the primer gotten in the crack just enough to seal it up. I was complimenting how I didn't cover up any details with that primer. I think I just did. Found the spot. I don't know. There he is, Mr. America. So, if I'm reading this right, these should be gray. And so should this. Middle's red. We'll just paint the whole thing gray. What am I doing wrong? Just paint the whole thing gray. Oops. I just blotched his entire nose. That was nose. All right. So, what next? I get a little bit of, if I do black, a little bit of black, and I do the wash and just dip it in there, it'll sink in where I need it to sink, and then the white eyes will be easier. So again, I never do black. Necromantic Cloak is my black. Kind of showing his kneecaps gray too. Dang it. Not really sure why, but that's what it was. Alright, what was it on with the black? Oh, his eyes. I just need this watered down. Thin enough, because then gets off of the eyes, and then all I gotta do is just do the eye. The rest of it is already the color it needed to be. Touch up around the edges. Probably shouldn't touch up around the edges yet, because I probably missed with the white. Almost guarantee I'll miss with the white. Yep. All right. Let's do yellow just because I don't know. It shouldn't take more than one coat, but it might. Very gloopy. I don't know why. Yeah, like I'm seeing here, there's nothing in the bottle there. That's not right. Is this drying? Is it drying up on me? Like it came out like a gloopy mess. I can hear the stainless steel ball bearings shaking around. So I mean, it came out liquid. Yeah, it's getting gloopy. Why are you getting all gloopy like that? Alright, let's put a little speed paint medium in there and see if we can revive this thing. I think this is a... I don't know if this is a newer color or not. Alright, we'll put a little speed paint medium in there, see if that helps. If not, I might need to get some paint thinner. Just a touch of paint thinner, I don't know. Well, that sucks. This is the yellow I really use for everything. I might have a backup. The speed paint medium helps break that up. I'll put it on the vortex mixer. Here, let me put it over here so I remember to put it on the vortex mixer. Alright, I think I'm still good because I just need to do a little bit of detail. I just got to put some water into this to break it down. This was not the brush I should have been using to mix. Yeah, color match is nice, especially since this paint's being goofy on me. Not taking that much to touch up. And it matches, so I don't have to worry about painting everything. I can just paint the touch-ups. Now if it was a blue mini, it'd probably require a little bit more. Can I get these? Not as easy as I thought it was going to be because, yeah, so the paint's messed up, so it's not covering the way it should. It's causing all kinds of different entertaining tidbits. Yeah, it's a bright yellow. It's not as bright in person. It's the, like I said, the camera with the auto color balances always makes things look a little bit brighter and or washed out. in the scenario. All right, how do you look at MODOK? Pretty good, pretty good. Keep hitting his hair, so definitely gonna touch his hair a little bit there. Let's miss some gray. Or I didn't miss some gray, I hit some gray. Missed it, I wouldn't have to do a touch up. I did miss some, I missed the bottom of this handle. It should be gray as well. Much better. All right. Get some white. Red, we might be done with him. Minus the base. So same thing, I don't use pure black, I don't use pure white, I use a bleached linen. It's one of the few colors by the Reaper ones that I actually use constantly. Although I guess to be honest, because these are so liquidy, I don't have to worry about what happened with the yellow. All right. Eyes and teeth time. Another reason I like that brown, the brown rose when I do the mouth is it makes a good gum color, like if it happens to stick out a little bit. All right. And I knew I was gonna get white on. That's why I didn't. That's why I didn't even touch these up earlier. I knew I was just gonna get white on anyways. Does he look like an evil mad scientist? Sure. All right, we need his red gem. I don't think I'll need to put another coat of the and then the white on the top of the smoke. I think I'm going to try to water this down a bit. All right. Whew. That was a lot of doing painting with no talking. All right. So we need his red dot, and then we need wash on the base and black rim. I think we're going to call him at that point. I only got like a gem thing. But... oh no, that was the set I think they were out of. No, they were out of the flesh tones. Could have sworn. It's my shaders. Gemstone. Ha ha ha. Let's see, I knew I had gotten these metallic paints. So I picked up the metallic paint set. There was a gemstone set. I'm always forgetting them. Not to say forgetting, I mean, this is like one of the first times I've had it since. But it's like, these can come in handy. Don't need a lot. Only have one gemstone. Yeah, I didn't think about these when I was painting some of the other guys that have, like, you know, a glowing gem type thing. Just metallic colored paint. I don't know what it is. If I really wanted to make Iron Man snazzy, I could paint all Iron Man in this entire thing, honestly. Question, do I want to attempt that with the Civil War Iron Man? It is an option. And the camera really can't see that it's a different color. The grays kind of blends in with this purple. That's because this gray is in the kind of the bluish purple family, so probably was not the best choice. In person, I can tell it's two different colors. Yeah, I'm good with that. All right, I don't think we're gonna do. I guess we'll do no. We're gonna do normal on the. I'll do normal on the whole thing, I guess. I think I'm gonna leave the. I'll leave the flames alone, or the smoke plume alone. I'll just do the base piece and call it that. Decided to shade the bottom part of the smoke. Do need to get some of this extra out though. It's a two-piece mold, and of course I've mentioned before I've stopped filling, because I just feel like the amount of time it takes to do that isn't worth the effort for what I want on a tabletop mini. There he goes, Mr. Aim. Alright, so that's one down. That only took 2 hours. Well, I say 2 hours, but I mean, I've done some basing on the other guys. Namor is going to be like 3 seconds. Like, I got to do his trunks, some gold, and his hair. There we go. Of course you've been on there that long. One down. I was thinking, oh, the yellow is going to make it so much. I mean, technically, I guess the yellow did make it quicker because I was able to paint that yellow orange right over top of the yellow. So, to be honest, made it quicker. We need that third coat on him, so let's go ahead and get that knocked out. Flip this over. Don't get any black on this base. Alright, while I got that, Bella wants to go out, so I guess that's a good time for me to take a quick break. I will be right back. All right, here we are. That pink hair just freaks me out now when I come in. I'm like, oh, pink hair. He's on here. Should I just just go with him? My question is, can I get this stuff I put on off? Is that a tomorrow will thing? The problem is if I paint on it right now, though. Maybe that's what this is for? Maybe this is to get the stuff off? I wouldn't think so. Thinking, well, maybe that's what the sponge is for, but sponge is not going to work very good on this type of surface. Oh, there it goes. So yeah, it did go on there. You can see on my finger. Just didn't go on there the way I wanted it to. So I don't know if that's going to work for me or not. I got on Amazon. Can always send it back at Amazon. Amazon don't care. Open, unopened. We'll take it all. Which, I mean, technically, I mean, that's... You bought something from Walmart and it's not what you needed. Or Michael's or Joann's, or, you know, since we're talking about arts and crafts here. I say Joann's, but they went out of business. Maybe because they weren't taking stuff back. So, can I get it? Yes, it went down in there. So that's where it really did gloop up down in this crease. So, like, it worked when it was, like, thick enough. It was just getting it on thick enough. I couldn't accomplish that. For the most part, it's just very thin on a lot of areas where I put it. I just want to make sure that it's not going to bother me. So, I said I have to figure out something to do, some color to put there to cover that up for the splash. Oh, did I hit his knee? Just hit his knee. There's a perfect example why you're supposed to prime. You whack it. If you whack it just right, you're going to run into issues. All right, so this is just like a bright green. Commando green. He's going commando. Why not? And after that, it's just, like I said, it's black for his hair. And then the gold. Oh, I gotta do his little wings. I forgot I gotta do his little wings. I've already got the white out here. I'll let that sit for a minute now that I shook it. And get my X-ray goggles on. Bella, I only gave you one piece of jerky, sweetie. That's the problem with like these, right? Because I need the readers now. So like when I don't have the readers, it's hard for me to see the brush near me and how I've got it on the palette. You know, how much actual paint is on the brush until it's like right under my face. It's not convenient. Every day it gets harder to see. Slightly further away. Now I'm almost wondering if I should do these pure white to make them pop a little bit more. Right now they're not very poppy. Alright. That's pretty good. Still don't know what I'm gonna do with the water to cover up that purple. I'm trying to think, like I said, I could do white, I could do blue, I could do teal. I just don't know. I could do like a... See, the problem is this is more of a teal, so I think I need to stay in that family. Like a toxic mist. Verdigris. Maybe verdigris. See how this looks. I just put it on put it on the spots with the purple, and there's some strokes coming up out of the water. Oh, is this a... Oh, this is a... No, this probably ain't gonna work. It says game color, but I think when it's got this red thing, I think it's a what does Army Painter call them? They call it an effect paint, I think. We'll try. This is the first time I've ever opened it, so I'm not... No, it's got a little thickness to it. Yeah, this might work. All right. Yeah, I think it's I mean I think it's still an effect paint, but yeah. Let's see what we got here. You okay, BZB? I think this will work out decent enough. Unfortunately, it's the way it is with the plastic. The only way to really solve it would have been to completely take him off of his base. And then I could have done is, then I would have painted this color on those pieces. Would I have thought about that? Well, BZB. What I thought. Still don't know what's causing Bella's cough, unfortunately. All right. Get this commando green going on. Man, we gotta do Lockheed's eyes before I forget. I always forget with flames. Just a little bit of yellow, give it some extra. They had the same thing with Human Torch and the whatchamacallit, the Super Scroll. A bit more green than I really needed, I think. So I had to figure out my thematic matchup for Namor. We're going kind of a World War II. And we're going to say Black Panther is T'Chaka. So it's T'Challa. Although they were friends in World War II, so it's basically like a... I guess we could say it's a first encounter after. Therefore... Well, also, the Atlantis and Wakanda are always at war, so technically Black Panther fits either way. Guess we'll go that route. We could actually use the Wakanda places. Let's say that it's Namor coming to attack Wakanda. And that Magneto and Captain America are trying to convince their old war buddy not to do it. Although I don't think Magneto is... He was in World War II, but he was in the encampments. So as I talk about this, my thematicness matchup is losing all credibility. Like you get to use Magneto like one time for free, and it's like, you know, what thematic matchup would I use him in? And it's like, well, I could find one later, but I just couldn't figure out who to put up against Namor, except for, of course, after, you know, the Avengers fought him, and he's normally an X-Men antagonist as well sometimes, although he is a mutant. Like I said, he's you know, he wants to protect Atlantis mostly. It's kind of a hard matchup. And then of course we've technically lost all of our Fantastic Four, so kind of gonna use them right now because I was gonna use at least to keep it somewhat Fantastic Four related. I was gonna leave in Sue. But can't do that. She's knocked out. Trying to get this is kind of weird because see, it's, you know, it's got the scale, so it's like it's bumpy. So I keep hitting spots, kind of weird. Mr. Widowpeak himself. Hair is sculpted very oddly. Trying to figure out where the line is. Half of this challenge. Now, if I look on this side, it doesn't look like his hair goes behind his ear. On the other side, painted it. Now it kind of does. His neck wouldn't bulge out like that. That's not good. Completely missed that one. Knocked him right in the cheekbone. And I did the same thing on this eyebrow. I just completely whacked that one out. Holy cow. Sometimes I can get like, you know, very good, and then sometimes just heavy-handed and just whack. There you go. I fixed it. So now what I don't know is like, so Magneto, when we defeated Magneto, we got to use him once as a hero. Are they going to do the same thing with Namor? I wonder. Like I haven't paid attention to see if they're unlockable as well, beyond getting to use them once. I'll have to look again. Because there is another Magneto in Age of Apocalypse, so like, okay, you get that Magneto as well. It was just my eyes or what, but I always feel like they're still gray. And like this one, I know there can't be gray because he never started gray. So that's gonna be gold. That's all. That's gold. So that's at the end. So we can get his eyes. You know, the customary touch up on the eyes. One on the left must have been more watered down, because now that's annoying. Now it kind of bled over. I hate eyes. I don't know how people do them. It's just crazy. I think I'm gonna leave it alone. If I don't leave it alone, I'm gonna keep messing with it and make it worse. Guaranteed. Alright. Get his teeth. Don't think I can even see his teeth. I guess he has bottom teeth. There's a little blue pupils. Now let's go to the fine detail. Highly doubt this is gonna probably won't even make a difference. Maybe if I used a slightly brighter blue. This is what I have on my palette. Yeah, that's what we're using. All right. We need bright gold. I'm gonna go bright gold. Unfortunately, just like most of them with these small ones, it gets warped. So the only way to fix that is you can heat it up and bend it and then cool it and try to get it back, but I almost guarantee it would just bend again at some point. All right. Solid gold. There's always a rumor of another Austin Powers movie, but I think at this point I think he's a little bit out there unless they're gonna do an Austin Powers like, you know, he's an old guy and he's training a replacement for him. Maybe they make like a young clone of him. I guess it served. It had its day. Its day has ended. As we know right now, it's not good enough to leave any movie or TV franchise dead for too long if it made money. Most studios now are even, you know, milking their animated series to make them live actions. Because, you know, we need those. Because that's what everybody asked for. All right. This, I don't know if it's this rubber thing or the rubber tools themselves. Something has a nice offing odor. And nice was sarcastic. It's something else. Technically, I have Namor again, right? Because, yeah, he was Phoenix 5. So I get to do this all over again. Although, he's in a different outfit. He's in the gold and red Phoenix outfit, so slightly different paint job. Yeah, add a little bit of touch up, I guess, probably. Probably should have base coated this. I never know what color you're supposed to base coat for metallics, because like I've struggled pretty much with any color that was underneath first. I think silvers is blacks is okay. I don't know if for gold would black be the best thing too. Let's probably need a second coat easy. Now the question is, do I paint the rim of this black? I don't know. Kind of a hard decision. Like, do I paint the rim black because I always, you know, do the black rim, or do I nod on him because it's a special rim? Invisible Woman was easier because she was, you know, she was raised off the ground, right? And so she had a base rim on her surface. Silver Surfer, same thing. You know, they gave you the Silver Surfer, which was, you know, all silver, but his base was actually more like a galactic, you know, kind of look to it. So it was, you know, easy to paint that, and then of course do the base rim on that one as well. This is the first mini I've, probably is definitely the first mini I've got that has a clear base to go with him. Let's let that. Dry up a little bit, and I'll try to have to do like a partial coat on, I think, the top and the bottom. Make a thin coat to smooth it back out. Some unfortunate touch-ups. I have more touch-ups than that. Oh, it's on the green, I think. I think I hit the green more often. Alright. Just a drop of water in this gold, or at least what's left of it. Not much left of it. Smooth all this out. Much better. know if I want to do his base rim. I hate to do it and then it looks bad. Hate not to do it and it looks bad. I'm gonna do it. Base rims are black, so. That's what I was afraid of. It went up on top. Dang it. I also don't think I can use that particular paint. We're going to get my actual acrylic paint. My real black paint. Right. Try that again, but smaller brush this time. It may have been a bad idea. It might have been. Yeah, it went up underneath. Make it worse, Will. You can take a little bit of this verdigris and just cover that up. Don't make it worse. There we go. We did a second coat on the hair, so the hair is kind of white in color spots. All right, 2 down. Oh, technically, if we count our dragon, 3 down. So, new the. Don't try that. Don't want to try that other blue. Give it a shot. Okay. All right. Let's see what it looks like. I can at least put it on the palette, see what it looks like. If I don't like it, don't use it. I know that that other blue comes out really dark. Like it actually darkens a lot. Like I said, the problem I'm having right now is his helmet. Because they just called him Nova. They never said who it was, but you know, it's Sam Alexander. So, new package from USPS. Yeah, so that's the reason people were questioning it, because in the art it was more very blue, but in the comics, of course, it's black. And so they did the Rider Nova in the multiverse. That's why I'm kind of, I hate going against the art, so that's why I'm kind of want to keep them a little bit blue, but that's why I'm thinking the dark blue would be better. And I'm kind of meeting it in the middle. I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. So, I'm going to see how purple or blue this is. And so I don't go blind, I'm going to go ahead and knock out this base real quick. What color his blast is? Well, in the picture, it's kind of like a whitish blue. So let's go ahead and just make it gray for now. I did the same thing I did with like Iron Heart. Basically use speed paints diluted over top of white. It kind of gives it like a small glow effect. Now, he didn't need to be yellow. He just was yellow because he was, he was with everybody else. So he turned yellow too. Or got primed yellow too. There we go. Makes it 5% easier to look at because he's still so yellow. Alright, so let's see what color this is. Hexed lichen. I put a lot right now because I want to see what it looks like. I do also have to consider it's going on top of yellow right now. And that is purple. That is definitely purple. Yeah, we can't go with that. That's purple. I have no way to show that on this cap either. Well, maybe. Make the cap white first. Definitely not going to see it on the cap. Paint 90% of the cap and you probably still won't see it because it's black. That's what I don't understand about black primer. Like I said, the black primer, you can't really tell what you're doing because it's black. Yeah, like I just painted that that dark lichen and you can't even see it. It's just a very dark black purple. So I think we are going to go with... we're going to go with... Check out the Stormy Blue. Again, I know I like the dark sky because, like I said, I use that on 2099. I don't think it's the yellow making it look that purple. I should be able to get him done. Been going to about 2 o'clock, so it's an hour and a half. That's going to be a good question. Do I make his yellow bits gold, or do I make his yellow bits yellow? Because they always kind of have this shiny, like, metallic aspect to them. Definitely not leaving it the yellow that they currently are. It definitely doesn't look good. Shoulder pads look very weird. The way that they've got them. They're much bigger on the mini than the art. Oh, I was trying to be so careful right here on the back because that you painted blue. I was trying to be careful on the helmet to not hit the back. That should be blue. This isn't quite the color I think I was looking for either. It's not going on very smoothly, which is very weird for the Vallejo. I'm not a fan of the shoulder pads the way they've got them. I mean, it just looks goofy. I mean, that's the way it is in the art. Just huge shoulder pads. But here they made him like go halfway down his arm. Like a sleeve. It doesn't seem right. I don't know why they would have done that. No, I'm keeping those like that big. That's crazy. On my wet palette, it looks blue. On the mini, not so blue. I'm guessing because of the yellow. Yellow has completely thrown off this color. And now I'm giving up on trying to be nice around the yellow. There's just so much I have to like pad in. I don't like this. I don't know why it came out so bad. And the problem is it's the only thing I've got, so it's like I didn't think about it. So now he's not drying, so can't even go and try to do another coat. Do I have any color I can use on anybody else while I'm waiting for this to try to dry a little bit? Kitty Pryde's hair. So we'll do that. Oh, that was something. Rain's yellow and dark blue. Okay, Pryde's yellow and darker blue. And Sabretooth is, I don't know, tan and orange. It's kind of a tannish orangish color. Problem is, I feel like if I add another coat to this, it's not going to get bluer. Maybe this is less blue than I'm thinking it really is. it's starting to look blue. So weird. I would assume that, okay, yeah, if yellow was messing up the color, it would have made it look, you know, well, green, because that's how colors work. I don't know if it's also because it's glossy, so it's messing me up. Now I don't like how much of it is actually wet and how much of it's because it's glossy. So I thinned that down a lot, which may have been another thing. I wanted them to be more black. Definitely darker than regular blue. I don't know what to do with his yellow now. I just go gold. And does boots be gold? Boots wouldn't be gold, but then that would look goofy. Oh, his gloves need painted, dang it. Really feel like they messed up his mold to his art. Like I don't think it's in any way, shape, or form the same. Now that I'm looking at it. I wonder if it is because, like, now I'm looking at like his fist here, right? And his fist is like right against his arm, right against his chest, which is blue, and his fist is blue. Like it's supposed to be like a, supposed to be like a gauntlet. Now they're showing just his fingers. You gotta be kidding me. So here they're showing the whole base of the hand. Here they're just showing the fingers. Not a fan of this at all. I almost feel like tossing him in a stripper and just calling him, making him starting over tomorrow. I do think I do need to just let him dry overnight because he's not. It's so blue, and then as soon as it dries, it goes like pure, like black. Like the only place that it's not is like when it's over top of something that's lighter, like the skin. Yeah, he's not going to dry before I need to do anything else to him, so I think that's what we'll do. We will save him for tomorrow night. We'll try to finish him up. Alright, so not sure I like the Stormy Blue. A little bit of you on the do this. Yes, I've diluted that down a lot, so you can even see like here it's all diluted now. Again, that's if I was putting it on top of like a gray or a light color, it seems to be like a pretty good blue. I don't know, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was just the reaction with the yellow. Or it's not blue. We'll see what that looks like tomorrow, I guess. Worst case, like I said, I'll just drop down to the dark sky, because I did like the dark sky, which at least looks blue. It's like a very dark blackish blue, but at least it looks blue. Alright, well, that thinner didn't work, that primer didn't work. The all my plans for today did not work. Alright, there we go, guys. That is today's painting session. I will be back tomorrow, like I said. if you're watching this after the fact, then, well, I've probably already painted tomorrow. Want to watch a gameplay? As usual, hit the subscribe, bell notification, that way you know we go live with the Marvel United gameplay. If you have any minis you would like to see me paint, well, you will have a lot to see if you look at my collection videos, all the different minis I could possibly paint. Let me know that down in the comments. Yeah, I doubt anybody watches these 4-hour replays. Either way, until next time, guys. Peace.